resilience is, I think the pandemic taught us what resilience is, but this is a different time. This is 4 years later. And so we're
Yeah.
focusing on things differently now too. So, but maybe it's something with, you see your workforce is slowing down. You see productivity is slowing down. You see accountability lacking. You see, Betsy says, I notice more stress and lower productivity with staff and myself. Yeah. Yeah. And, just even with the changes that happened this week, there's a lot of people that are stressed out about that. And so, and I'm just going to say this lightly, is that, half the US is happy and the other half is a little stressed out. So we've got different things actually happening, but knowing what happens within your team. And so, I'll move on to the next question. If, just looking to see what actually happens. The next question is, how can you solve it? What are some of the solutions to solve the problems? Maybe it's having team meetings, to hear out what they're challenged with, what their stresses are. Maybe it's to send surveys out, whatever it might be. Maybe it's to actually help them build their resilient skills, their skills to be able to move through change. Maybe it is just building their communication skills, opening communication, whatever it might be. So any suggestions?
I'll come off mute again.
That's okay. Thanks.
I think a lot of the challenges that people have, looks like everyone on the call is pretty seasoned as far as their experiences, having a lot of those scenarios planned out and being able to be proactive as a leader, going to your people instead of assuming that they're going to be comfortable enough to come to you. So being able to come and really address the scenario that you think they're maybe under and what the challenges they may have, and start to see that, hey, you're probably feeling uncomfortable because of A, B, and C,
Yeah.
others have come to me about this. Those end up enlisting trust and getting people more comfortable with bringing out some of those conversations that may feel like, okay, this is going to put me in a difficult position with leadership. And that opens the door for a lot more opportunities as well, because it could be something totally unrelated to work.
Yeah.
And being able to get in front of that, they've got something going on at home, loss of a pet, kids are sick, etc.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Gabe, for sharing that too, because having that open dialogue and having them feel safe enough, building that psychological safety and building that trust. And so I find that, even in when we're teaching our programs, we break out in small groups and learning some unique communication skills. Some of you have used those before too. But knowing that what's really the most amazing thing is that in those small groups, all of a sudden everybody feels a common thread and they feel safe enough to share. And so they find that they're not alone. It's like, yeah, I'm dealing with that as well too. And Vicki was saying, creating a space of conversation around workflows, yeah, and asking for input. It is not always about directives. Teams work as teams when they work together. Yeah, that collaborative effort. And sometimes they can support each other, and really having a listening ear and empathy. Oh my goodness, empathy. Gabe, what you talked about, it could be something else going on. You never know what's actually happening. And knowing that, those personal things happen. And if they may not feel safe enough to share it at work because maybe they think their supervisor might think they're weak, they can't get their work done. But knowing that it's safe to be able to be human. In fact, that's actually the foundation, is being human. And
That's my number one, and others may have the same kind of sentiment advice as well. I always start out with, how's your family?
yeah.
Because that immediately is not about work. It's not about productivity. It's not about numbers. It's about the human being and what they're kind of maybe going through behind the scenes, and a lot comes out of that.
Yeah.